I mean, I guess with McGregor, it's a shame. It is a shame. Listen, we've taken shots at each other a little bit on social media, and I've been a victim of the voice notes and all the rest of it. But you can't deny what he brings to the table. There's nothing like a Conor McGregor fight week. And I was very, very much looking forward to it. I really was. I was looking forward to the fight with him and Chandler. Chandler, it's a really, really tough situation for him as well. As we know, he's been waiting for a long time to get that big fight. By all accounts, I saw some breaking news that they're going to make it August 31st, but that was just on a social media post. Have you seen if there's anything official from the UFC, Harrington?
So what I've heard is that it is not a target for the Sphere because some fights are already booked up for that. So they were looking at adding a date, either that August 31st date, like you said, or sometime like a gap in between Independent Fight Week and that August 31st date in September.
Yeah. So if it is August 31st, if we just take that date, that would suggest to me, if you look at it and I know about the history of fighters getting injured, and this is probably why there was a little bit of deliberation, because maybe, I don't know, he's tweaked his knee, hurt his leg, the shin bone's playing up, whatever. As we said, I think on the last show, a lot of fighters, when they have that injury, they often struggle with it going forward. And I would assume, and again, this is a lot of assumption, that there was an issue with the leg, but it wasn't that bad. And they're kind of saying, well, let's push it back a little bit. And they didn't know what they were going to do. And I'm sure his management team around him said, look, listen, you don't want to come back half-cocked after 3 years away, and come back and give Michael Chandler an even bigger chance of winning because you're injured for the last few weeks and you can't train. So let's push it back a little bit. And I'm assuming UFC didn't want to announce it because they don't want to announce it and not have a main event when the fight's so close. So rest up McGregor, Chandler, keep doing those kettlebell swings, keep giving those TED Talks, and keep doing what you do. Michael Chandler, stay with it. And August 31st, I hope it goes down. So it's a shame, but the fight's still going to go ahead. But I'll tell you what, Alex Pereira. I was laying in bed this morning thinking about Alex Pereira taking that fight. And I saw a post from Adam Catchell from TNT Sports and the Fight Disciples. And he said, he was talking about Alex Pereira. He's in Australia, or he was in Australia a couple of days ago, doing like a PR tour and just meeting fans and stuff like that, doing appearances and stuff. He broke a toe in UFC 300 against Jamal Hill. Apparently he's broken another toe somewhere along the way. So he's got 2 broken toes. He's currently in Australia, and he's got 2 weeks until the fight, and he's going to take on the samurai himself, Jiri Prochazka. And after the schedule he's been on, what he's achieved in such a short space of time, the star power that he has amassed, he's become one of the biggest stars in mixed martial arts. He's a 2-weight division champion, and the schedule has just been unbelievable. Alex Pereira, take a goddamn bow.
And I mean, if you look at his resume, it is just UFC champion after UFC champion. I think he had 2 of his fights in the UFC have been against people who did not at one point touch gold. So it's like, not only is he on this rigorous pace where he's fighting, every few months and providing these highlight reel knockouts, but he's doing it against the absolute elite in MMA right now.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I mean, when you look at his record and the fact that listen, the narrative is, and it's probably the truth, he was kind of fast-tracked to fight Izzy, right? But he won 3 fights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 fights before he got a shot at Izzy, and he beat him in round 5. But he took an immediate rematch. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I'm speaking about the fighter and the strength of schedule and stepping up on short notice, the fact that he went straight away, I'll fight Izzy again. Now, granted, he'd beaten him 3 times, but there was no pontificating. There was no bullshit. There was like, straight away, let's do it. He beat him in November. He fought him again in April in the very, very next fight. And he got knocked out. Moved up to light heavyweight, beat former champ Jan Blachowicz, Jiri Prochazka, and then Jamal Hill. And now he's going right back in again, over Jiri Prochazka. You know what I'm saying? So this is why this sport is so amazing. For people like that, for people like Alex Pereira that have that kind of, for want of a better cliched statement, that warrior mentality. He really does. He's like a throwback fighter. Do you know what I'm saying? He's like, and we'll get to Robert Whittaker in a bit. He tweeted yesterday, anyone, anywhere, anytime. And Robert Whittaker's another one. Do you know what I mean? You just got to absolutely have ultimate respect. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, 303, it's not Conor McGregor, but it's still a bloody good fight card. And Jiri Prochazka was doing pretty good in that fight. Yeah, he did get drops, but he was having success. And then, as we know how the finish came. But Jiri, after that fight with Alexander Rakic, I'm very, very excited for that fight. So, unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's guaranteed fireworks, right? It's like if you need to replace somebody with the star power of Conor McGregor, I need somebody who I think has a very good chance, one way or another, of that fight ending in a first-round knockout, right? Like that's what the bloodlust in the fans is real. So to replace it with something where it looks like all action on paper is, like that's a pretty sweet ace in the hole to have for the UFC.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Here's one thing I spoke about yesterday. I did a little YouTube video, and I said, and I wondered, I was just thinking out loud, will McGregor ever fight again? I think that's a fair question, because if he injured it in this camp, there's a potential that happens again. I mean, look at Chris Weidman and the troubles that he's had. He got a good win recently over Bruno Silva, but the leg issues have been kind of consistent ever since that break. Anderson Silva, even though it kind of takes away from my victory over him, he was not the same knockout artist that he was. You know what I mean? And who else is there? There's been a few others over the years. And for McGregor, he's tried to come back after 3 years away. He's got a lot of other stuff going on outside the fight world. Obviously, he just did the Roadhouse movie. I think they're doing a sequel as well now. He's got businesses galore, Lamborghini yachts. The leg just gave way. If it happens again, and that's the thing, he's going to have to be very, very careful. He's going to have to train with recovery in mind, because if it happens again at 35, and it's a quick turnaround, August, it's only around the corner. We're halfway through July now. July 15th, this Saturday, I'll be back in action at the Apex. June 15th, pardon me. Did I say June or July?
You said July, but
I thought I said July, and then I second-guessed myself. It's the CTE. Come on, Ariel, I've got CTE. You would have mentioned your 14 trophies. What about the Hall of Fame shit behind me? Again, jokes. Relax, everybody. My God. Yeah, I hope McGregor comes back. I really do. I really do. And I hope it's a massive fight, and may the best man win. And for Michael Chandler, again, I'm repeating myself, but you do feel for the guy. Waiting all this time, finally gets the fight. He's about to fly to bloody Dublin for the press conference. That gets cancelled. Then he's been hanging in limbo, waiting to know if the fight goes ahead. And here we are. But silver lining, August is just around the corner. And it turns out that Jiri Prochazka, when he said that's pretty good speculation, turns out the speculation was absolutely spot on, and no wonder he was smiling. And listen, Jiri Prochazka, man, it takes two to tango. As you said, that fight is absolute guaranteed fireworks. So, yeah, I can't wait for it.